once again, it's that time of the show where we expose those three little words that men find so difficult to say. I don't know. And here to prove that point just one more time is my Uncle Red and, of course, Mr. Dougie Franklin. Well, this will be interesting. We have a letter from Texas this week. United States. Oh, excellent. Okay. Dear experts, last year, the missus and I vacationed in England. It was a real cute little country. But even though they spoke kind of like Americans, the place was like a real foreign country or something. When I ordered a bag of chips, I got fries. Everyone drove on the wrong side of the road, and their money looked real weird. This year, we're going to come up to Canada and visit you people. Is it weird there, too? I think by weird, he means different.
Well, that makes you different, then, doesn't it? Well, you know, I don't think there's any difference between Canadians and Americans. Dougie, you're an American. Wouldn't you say we're about the same?
No, sure I wouldn't. You Canadians are weird.
How's that?
Well, I mean, you know, up here, a 240Z is a 240Z. What is a Z? I mean, you know, it sounds like something off Hee-Haw. Looky up on the porch. It's Uncle Zed.
What's in a name, Dougie? Doesn't matter Z or Z, because the same car goes just as fast and gets the same gas mileage up here.
No, sir, it doesn't. You go 100 kilometers an hour. You get maybe, what do you say, 10 kilometers to the liter. Now, I don't know whether that's good or bad. I don't know whether anybody who was born here knows either.
Okay, all righty, but, you know, we're really going the same speeds, and, you know, we drive on the same side of the highway as Americans.
No, sir, you don't. Oh, you Canadians, you all drive in the passing lane. Now, in the United States of America, we got your driving lane, we got your passing lane. Up here, you just got, like, lanes. It's like bowling. Just go anywhere that, you know, happens to be open, and there you are. You try that in the U.S. of A., you come face to face with the cops.
Well, you'd have the same problem up here, Doug.
Absolutely not. No, sir, you wouldn't. You'd get pulled over by your Mounties. And, of course, you know, look at the way those fellers are dressed. They're like security guards. Now, back home, we got state troopers. They're gussied up with gold braid. They got your big guns, 10-gallon hats. You ever been pulled over by a Mountie wearing a 40-liter hat? Telling you, you Canadians are different than us Americans. Cat's out of the bag.
Well, perhaps it's just because we're more tolerant and we're less likely to judge foreigners and we're like a little less closed-minded about different cultures.
No, sir. No, sir, you're just, that's one thing actually we have in common. You're just as narrow-minded as we are, only we're up front about it, you know. When you talk to an American like this, he's just gonna be just as ticked off as you are, but he'll let you know instead of hiding behind, you know, some kind of constipated smile, making like none of this is bugging him.
Well, thanks so much for dropping by, Doug.
Great having you here.
Yep. Very informative. Excellent.
Yes. Weird.
And now here's the part of the show where we expose those three little words that men find so difficult to say. I don't know. And here to prove that point once again on the expert portion of the show is my Uncle Red and Mr. Dougie Franklin. Okay, here we go. Dear experts. There is a woman at our office who I find very interesting, and I would like very much to marry her and bear her children. However, before making a lifelong commitment, I think we should meet first. So far, she doesn't even know that I'm alive. Any ideas?
Well, I'm kind of with her on this one, Harold. I don't think the guy's alive either.
Well, Uncle Red, I don't think sarcasm helps a shy person. Believe me.
Well, Harold, with me, you either get sarcasm or total silence.
Has he got stock exhaust system?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell from this picture of him he sent.
I just was wondering maybe you might want to upgrade to a thrush, you know, or get a little body work done. Chop the front end down, jack the back end up a little, you know.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good point. My mom had that done after she stopped having kids.
Dougie's talking about the guy's car, Harold.
Pardon me, but how would an engine rebuild get this fella closer to the girl of his dreams?
Harold, your first rule, if you want to be noticed, is you got to make sure your car makes a lot of noise, you know? Big thunder exhaust system and peel some rubber out of the parking lot.
Well, I would agree with you if this fella wanted to meet, say, you know, a policewoman.
I was just thinking, you know, maybe he might want to drop a racing can in her and get a Holly carb, maybe some Mopar headers. Get that engine so she's just idling real rough and tough, you know, kind of like a you know.
For those of you who just tuned in, this is not the German version of the show. It's that time once again where we expose those three little words that men have such difficulty saying. I don't know. And here to prove that point is my Uncle Red and his best friend in the whole wide world. Okay, Mr. Dougie Franklin. Dear experts, I consider myself to be an above-average driver. However, the judge who took my license away suggested I may not be as good as I think I am. Exactly how do you tell if you're a bad driver or not?
Well, Dougie, this sounds like it'd be right dead center of your area of expertise.
No kidding, Red. I mean, you want to know something about bad drivers? I am your man. I must run into one or two of those suckers head on once a month. Yeah, but listen, let's start in the very, very beginning where the problem lies. I blame it on your driver education system.
I'm with you there, Doug. I agree 100%.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, a kid spends 4 years in school learning how to control a pencil, which has no moving parts, goes about 1 mile an hour, and is not known to burst into flames when she rolls. You know? What I'm saying here is we're not teaching our kids right. And how can we? You know, I mean, these teachers are talking theory. You want to know how to do something? Go to somebody who's been there. Go to hell and back and tell the story. Like my family. We have had every type of accident imaginable. We have had your head on, your rear ender, your side swipe, your rollover with a convertible, you name it. We have done them all. We should be teaching the kids. You put me, my brother, and my daddy in front of a classroom, and I guarantee you, you will bring down the number of bad drivers on the road.
Yeah, by 3.
And now it's that time of the show where we expose the 3 words that men find most difficult to say. I don't know. And now, here to prove that point is my Uncle Red and his best friend in the whole wide world, Mr. Dougie Franklin. Letter number 1. Dear experts, for the past 10 years, I spent evenings and weekends restoring a 68 Camaro to mint condition. I invested thousands of hours and many dollars getting it perfect.
Wow, that's a beautiful car, Harold.
That fella ought to be mighty proud. You know, that is a dandy. That's a dandy.
When I was finished, I was overwhelmed by a great feeling of emptiness. Oh. Suddenly, I realized that I had wasted an entire decade of my life on a stupid car. 10 precious years gone. My family were gone. What a selfish, blind fool I had been. How can I find meaning in life again? Signed, Despondent.
Does he say if he wants to sell the car?
I don't know.
I think what we're having here with our viewer is what we call mid-car crisis. This fellow needs a little guidance. And one great place to find some words of comfort and advice is in your fortune cookies. I would suggest you get down to the bulk food store there with, say, a 10-gallon pail and just load it right up and sit down in front of one of your favorite soaps and just pig out and get all kinds of words of wisdom all at the same time.
Well, you know, Red, there is another source of wisdom, and one I might add that has a little bit less MSG. You want to know how to live your life? Live by the 10 Commandments. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I do too, Dougie.
Yeah.
Well, so do I. I do too. Thou shalt not kill. I never kill.
No, and of course there's thou shalt not commit adultery.
Well, that, of course, is for, you married types. Then again, there's thou shalt not steal. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And there's the others. How many did we get?
3. So there was killing, adultery, and stealing. And then there's
Yeah.
Isn't there one about the Sabbath?
There is. Yeah.
honor thy mother and father. That's what. Honor thy mother and father.
Unless they're anything like my father.
Do unto others as you'd happen to do unto you.
Yeah.
And I think that's number 4. And number 10 is have a nice day.
Yeah. That's a cheerful one. That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I believe number 9 is if you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, go for it. And number 3 is finders keepers.
Words to live by.
yeah.
Words
Yeah.
to live by.
Yeah.
How many are we up to now?
9. There's just like one more.
Yeah. It's number 2. What is that? What is that one?
Got it.
Yeah.
It ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, I hope that our viewer can get some help out of these great words of wisdom.
Yeah, and if you're gonna sell that Camaro, give us a buzz, will you?
And now it's that part of the show where we get to expose those 3 little words that men find so hard to say, I don't know. And today, claiming to be experts are my Uncle Red and, of course, Mr. Dougie Franklin. Dear experts, I'm hoping you can answer a question which has been tearing my family apart and destroying my marriage. The question is this: what was the best car ever built?
That is a tough one, That really is, I think, one of the core questions of our time. That strikes deep into the human psyche. I don't know. That's tough.
Which was the best car?
Oh, yeah, Earl. A person's choice of car is a window to their soul. Now, I have the Possum van,
I got my monster truck. Yeah.
and you got your rollerblades.
Oh, yeah. I think it was Jean-Paul Sartre who really kind of best exemplified the existentialist view, Now, of course, he had one of them Renault kit cars, the ones that you build yourself, kind of an attempt to know the unknowable, and come with these instructions that had kind of a tautological logic loop, so, he never did finish the rear suspension on that baby. But, he did come to the conclusion that essence precedes existence. Therefore, best is really what you'd have to say is a subjective measurement based on the observer's frame of reference.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Well, so?
So, the best vehicle for Red here would be the Possum van. For me, it would be the monster truck. And for you, it'd be them water wings.
Rollerblades. But it's, all you said kind of makes you wonder, something like, what would Plato drive?
A Buick LeSabre.
Welcome to the expert portion of the show. This week, claiming to be experts with my Uncle Red are the Franklin brothers, Dougie and Ben. Okay, all right, here's the first question. Dear experts, if you were washed up on a desert island, who would you want to have with you?
Boy, that's a tough one, Harold. You'd want somebody who was good with survival stuff, you know.
Yeah, and had wilderness skills.
That would be good. Or somebody who would keep a cool head in what I would call your CSS or your crisis situation scenario.
Well, then I'd have to go with Gilligan. 'Cause, like, he was on that island for like 3 years, and like he built all them shelters, and there was like, you know, it was like a bamboo subdivision.
Excuse me, that was just a TV show, though, Mr. Franklin. I mean, Gilligan really didn't build all those shelters.
You are some kind of idiot, you know. The professor built them.
Yeah, I gotta go with Dougie on this one. Every time they tried to escape, Gilligan always was the one who screwed it up.
I would think the guy you would want on your team when you're in one of your crisis situation scenarios would be somebody like the professor. I mean, he was close to a mechanical genius, that feller, you know. I mean, he could do anything. Remember that record player he built? Had, remember, it was better than the one they had on the Flintstones, you know, that had that bird with the beak that went down. And after the record was done, it did that, bop, it's 11. Remember that? Much better than that.
I am not an idiot. It was Gilligan's Island, okay? It was about Gilligan. He was always coming up with these, like, crazy plans, and everything go wrong, and then everybody would feel sorry for him, and that's what you want in the wilderness, is somebody dumb that you can feel superior to. That gives you a will to live, so I'll pick Gilligan.
These are all mythical characters.
Well, so what, Harold? It's a hypothetical question.
Hang on a second here. Let's say, okay, you're out there on your 3-hour tour. All right? Something happens, whammo, there you are, stranded on the desert island for, say, 3 seasons. I'm telling you, I gotta go with the professor.
Well, I'd go with Gilligan, because he had all the ideas.
I would go with either Ginger and or Marianne, I believe.
That's not fair. I didn't know they were in this. Okay, I'll take Ginger.
Mrs. Howell, for me, she was good.
Wait a sec. Oh, Uncle Red, what about your wife? Wouldn't you take your wife?
And have Bernice stranded on a desert island for 3 years. I love her too much to put her through that, Harold.
Welcome to the expert portion of the show. And this week we have 2 experts, one being my Uncle Red and the other being Mr. Dougie Franklin. This is how the letter goes. The letter goes as follows. Dear experts, this year I want to make my mother's birthday special to thank her for everything she's done for me. I'm hoping to be out of prison by then. One way or another. Oh. Do you have any suggestions? I mean for a birthday gift, not for how to bust out of this stinking joint. Signed, Sid and Cell C by the seashore.
Well, Sid, I think you should just stay in the slammer a little bit longer there. Might want to go into overtime on that one, because it sounds to me like the rehab is not quite kicked in as yet.
No, now, Red, I think there's a very special bond that exists between a man and his mom that transcends all rational thought, particularly if he's her favorite son. Now, of course, my brother Ben will know more about that. And again, you know, he knows everything. He's the apple of Mom's eye, but to me, he's just plain rotten to the core.
Mr. Franklin, this fellow's looking for gift ideas.
All right, well, that's a tough one, Harold. I know what moms don't like. A set of racing tires. Boy, that sure was a waste of $2 grand. And a hell of a lot of wrapping paper as well. Women, go figure. They are so unpredictable.
No, I know that my mom, when on her birthday, I just like to, clean up, take her out for dinner, buy her flowers. I get her that all the time.
Oh, no, no, Harold. I think your mother would prefer it if you were in prison like this fella.
Welcome to the expert portion of the show. And on this week's portion of the experts, we have experts my Uncle Red and, of course, his good friend, Mr. Dougie Franklin. Okay, here we go. First letter goes as follows. Dear experts, I find a certain woman very attractive, and she seems nice. But whenever I talk to her, she makes a face like she smells something burning. And then she jumps into a taxi. What's the deal? Signed, Mr. Lonely.
Well, not much to go on there, Harold. Mr. Lonely could be Mr. Loser. Or maybe the woman's just playing hard to get.
Well, no, Red. It's been my experience. Women don't play hard to get. They are hard to get. You don't just walk up to a woman and start a conversation. You drive up. And there's a hint, bold as brass, in that letter. She got into a taxi. Hint, hint, get yourself a set of wheels.
What, like your monster truck, Mr. Franklin? Because personally, I find that, completely inappropriate.
Well, don't you go kidding yourself, Harold. Women love a monster truck. They love the power. They love the size. Women love all that rubber.
What about the eye contact, though, Dougie? You're up the monster truck there. Don't you need something shorter like a van or a pickup truck? Make you have that eye-to-eye thing that they recommend in those magazines that Bernice buys.
You're on to something there, Red. If you take that thought just a little bit farther, it might behoove you, when you go to buy your vehicle, to get one that puts you right at eye level of whatever it is you want to be looking at, while you're talking to her. Catch my drift. And another thing, power windows. Power windows. Women love a man that can drive up smooth as can be, raise and lower his windows without cranking and wheezing. You know what? It makes them think you're good with your hands.
The expert portion of the show. And on this week's expert portion of the show, we have the experts, my Uncle Red and his good friend, Dougie Franklin. Our first letter goes as follows. Dear experts, recently my girlfriend and I were out cruising in my Camaro on our way to a street race when she pulled her scarf off my rearview mirror and told me it was all over between us. The next night I saw her on the back of some guy's motorcycle. How can I win back the girl of my dreams, bereft in Boston?
Well, I tell you, feller, I think if you want her back, this is what you got to do. You got to get your vehicle into the shop. You got to get your rings done and your headers chromed.
What you're saying is this romance just needs a little tune-up.
Well, yeah. In a matter of words, yeah, a way of speaking, I would say that romance, Red, she's like your internal combustion engine. If you want her to run smooth, you got to maintain your spark. Now, my advice to bereft is check your timing, gap your plugs, and you may not need that jump start.
I don't think it's very flattering. People won't want their love life compared to a slant six.
It's an accurate comparison, though, and I think bereft has just got to hope that the problem is only the spark, because if it ain't the spark, then it's the gas. We all know how quickly you can kill a romance when you are backfiring down lover's lane.
This is the part of the show that I love because we expose those three little words that men find so difficult to say. I don't know. And here to prove that point once again is my Uncle Red and his best friend in the whole wide world. Today is Mr. Dougie Franklin. Here's the letter. Dear experts, I'm thinking of taking the family on a vacation this winter. Are there any places you would recommend?
Well, golly, there are just so many of them, beautiful spots. Moose Lake, Moose Jaw, Moose Factory is nice. Moose-and-E this time of year is...
Uncle Red, I think the viewer would like less moose and more fun.
Oh, all right.
you got your Bahamas. You know, you got the Barbados. You got your Bimini Island, your Bikini Atoll, Purdy Viardi, you know. But I would recommend to anybody, if you're looking into a tropical paradigm, remember these 3 words, folks. 3 words: food, weather, medical care. You can't tell me the best doctors in the world are working that resort circuit.
Well, is there a place that you would recommend, Mr. Franklin?
Well, sir, I would think before I'd sign on the dotted line for any one of those tropical tours, I'd take a good hard look at a 65 or a 66 Mustang, Harold.
Dougie, I don't think that is technically a resort. Even if you turn the heater up full on that one.
Well, precisely my point, though, Red. I mean, you know, why blow your brains out on 2 weeks of sunstroke and diarrhea, you know? When, for the same price, you could invest, okay, in a Mint Boss 302 convertible. Instead of fun in the sun, you could have it made in the shade.
Yeah, but I still don't think you could really equate, you know, seeing another country, another culture, even with buying a used car.
Harold, the amount of money I've spent on my monster truck, I could have been around the world 3, maybe 4 times. And what would I have to show for it?
Well, adventure, knowledge, memories.
You cannot crush cars with memories.
Got you there, Harold.